Hello, brothers and sisters. Father Nathaniel, National Chaplain for the Lumen Institute. Great to see you all, and it's hard to believe we're already entering the summer, right? It's June. Crazy how fast the year is going. But, we're going with the Lord, right? So the main thing is that God is with you, God is with us. And we're continuing our exploration under the pillar of faith, virtue number 2 now. We just did spiritual drive, and now we're going to prayer. And it's very interesting that prayer, by analogy, we could say compares a little bit to communication. Like if you think about communication with your husband or wife, communication with your children, communication with perhaps call it a best friend that you have. Think about how valuable that time you spend together, and that time together is spent in different ways. There's all different types of expressions of that relationship and how you communicate. It could be just by being in each other's presence. It could be through verbal communication. It could be through watching or looking at photos or videos of that other person from the past or the present. There's all kinds of ways where that relationship is fomented and where it grows and that communication happens. So prayer is our communication with the Lord and His communication with us. It's that encounter place. And it's interesting that in Lumen, I find that most men and women that I've met in Lumen, this is often where they start. This is often one of the reasons why they join the organization, because they feel like they have not developed a steady, habitual relationship with the Lord that has some form of prayer every day. And so that's the first steps a lot of times some of you have made, right, was committing to develop a prayer life. And that's very laudable. And I encourage you this month to continue committing to that, because the prayer is like the oxygen is for the lungs, prayer is oxygen for the soul. Without it, part of us isn't alive. Part of us is and you kind of know when it's hard to breathe, right? You know what that feels like. It's not a comfortable thing. Well, sometimes there's things wrong in our lives, and if we maybe look deep down, it's probably because the lung of prayer is not functioning properly. We're not filling our hearts with the presence of God and talking with Him, expressing ourselves to Him, beseeching His help in our life. And so I just encourage you, there's a couple tips here in the handbook, page 65. Again, you're getting tired of me probably saying it, but I just invite you to really open it up, break it open, have it on your desk, look at it every day for a minute or two, feed your heart and mind with it. A couple things to what you can do. We'll get help, right? As leaders, oftentimes we don't want to get help. We might want to believe the lie that we have it all together, which we don't. And so there's a real need to get help, including in our prayer life. And that's why any one pursuing excellence has a trainer in their life. Athletes have trainers. You as executives oftentimes have executive coaches. You have investment coaches maybe. You have nutritional guides, people sometimes have. Guides for everything, but you all have the blessing to have a spiritual coach, a priest, a consecrated woman, or a trained lay person in your life helping you. Are you talking to them about your prayer life? Are you asking them to challenge you about your prayer life? Are you just kind of skimming the surface but not actually doing a scuba dive down and talking about what's really going on in your prayer life? Like, what is God saying? Where are your struggles in prayer? What are you hearing? What are you seeing in your prayer life? I invite you to get help on that. There's no greater thing to do in our prayer life, other than doing it, is to ask help with it and invite others to join you in that journey so you're not alone. And that is the second tip, is do it. People say, well, Father, I don't know how to pray. Well, just start praying, start talking to God. Don't get lost in the mechanics of prayer, but open your heart, make some time, make some space, and sit with God, talk with God, do whatever you want. But the main thing is open some space in your life and just do it. That's sometimes the greatest obstacle I find to people. They get lost in, I'm not sure if I'm doing it right, I want to make sure it's all right. And it's not about doing it right, it's about being with the other person, right? The other person loves you, the other person knows you, the other person wants to be with you. And that's what prayer is supposed to be, that's what prayer is all about. And so you're going to be with someone who cares about you, loves you, wants to be with you, is not concerned about, did you do prayer just right, just perfect. That's not what it's about. It's about being with the other person. So I just invite you to really make prayer like the air you breathe, and make time every day. A longer period every day, hopefully, at 5-10 minutes or more, and then throughout the day, those little moments of contact with God, those little love glances across the room into your heart, because God is there with you. Praying for you as we continue into the summer. God bless you, and hope you and your families have a wonderful start to this summer. And safe travels if you're going on vacation this month. Take care.